Good afternoon, everybody. It's David Schlotthauer here in the home weather office with an update on Invest 93L for this afternoon on your Wednesday, the 16th of July, 2025, here at exactly 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And so, to start off, here's a look at the latest GOES satellite imagery. This is a meso floater, and the system has been quite disorganized and has been doing some odd surprises for us since it made landfall yesterday. So first off, the thing kind of came off of the Carolinas and then kind of went down here and then kind of curved back up, and now it's basically over here right now in the northern portion of the Gulf. Perhaps the low-level center might be just offshore. It's really hard to tell at the very moment because we have all of these thunderstorms that are bubbling up. But we do have a big explosive complex of showers and thunderstorms that have really fired up this afternoon just south of Mobile, Alabama, just off the coast of New Orleans, Louisiana, over Biloxi there. That's excuse me, that's exactly where the hurricane hunters are stationed, not to be confused with Miss Piggy and Gonzo that are stationed over here. That's the NOAA side of things. But when it comes to the Air Force missions, they're stationed over here. And man, there are a lot of explosive thunderstorms going on right now. And these are so intense that there's even gravity waves. See the gravity waves emanating out underneath the Sierra's canopy, indicating that these are some very vigorous updrafts that are shaping up with a lot of lightning that is also taking place. And just recently, there's been a new hot tower that has exploded this afternoon, just right on the coast there of Mississippi and the Gulf. Water temperatures over here are also very warm in the 90s, and one could even be surprised that this thing actually is not doing very well at organizing despite those very warm sea surface temperatures, and that is because we do have still some dry air aloft and a little bit of vertical wind shear. But the vertical wind shear actually might have backed off a little bit because we can see cirrus clouds going out this way, some cirrus cloud filaments doing this, and then the flow does this on the back side. So actually, one could even argue that the wind shear here is very light, likely under 15 knots or so, where this system currently is positioned. So it is going to be important to see whether or not, if this is indeed the low-level center right here, if it can get its act together tonight for it to organize enough for it to potentially have time to become a tropical depression just before it makes its way onshore of Louisiana. But because of how disheveled this system actually is right now, I am not betting anything on this. If it does become a tropical depression, okay, it becomes a tropical depression. If it becomes a tropical storm, it becomes a tropical storm. If it doesn't become anything, it doesn't become anything. And I apologize if I went a little too hard on this system. I think everyone did, in my personal opinion. People were thinking that, oh, this has a chance of going actually further south and actually going this way. But guess who's correct in all of this, actually? Maybe more of you are, but Tony H, that is actually in the chat, he told me that, David, this thing is going northwest, and then it's going to stay over land mainly. I'm like, and I told Fire Ant yesterday, we were in a call yesterday, and I was telling him that, no, Fire Ant, I think this is definitely, it's going west. It might even be going southwest because of where the center looks like it's going. It says, no, David, I think it's going northwest into far northern Florida and southern Georgia. I'm like, okay, if that's what you think. And so, guess what? He was right this whole time. So, got to give Tony H a little round of applause on that, actually. He's been quite consistent and accurate on this system this whole time. And so Next time I'll have to refer to him on what his thoughts are. So this is what the system is doing now. Very disorganized. Doesn't look like it's going to do anything. And because of that, the NHC, quite surprisingly, wants to keep this. Let's see if they updated this. Nope, they haven't yet. They still show this at a 40% chance of tropical development in the next 7 days right there. And you can see where the center actually is. You could let me know if that's correct, where that location is, Fire Ant. I think it's a little bit further to the west because the center is estimated to be here. And if you look at the low level clouds, you can see right here, clearly flow is doing this. And then down here, you got a little bit of flow doing that. And then over here, you got flow doing that. So I think the center is somewhere over here, just off the coast of the Panhandle of Florida. Still onshore? Okay, you're saying it's still onshore? Okay. That, I would not be surprised maybe where some of this deep convection actually is. Is it? It's probably onshore by a mere mile or so. It's like right on, it's skimming the coast. So 40% chance of this developing in the next 7 days. I don't think it's going to do much. I really don't. I'm starting to kind of turn down on this system just because of how much water time it has left. Well, if any at all. And therefore, if this does become a tropical depression, it's going to be very brief. It's going to be a very, very short-lived system that we're going to have to contend with. And because of that, I'm not really going to run any models on this just because there's no point in doing so, because all of them are not showing any more tropical development. So instead, we're looking at your rainfall risk with the system. And regardless of if this does become a tropical depression or not, there is going to be a lot of heavy rainfall associated with this. All right, this is a 0Z output from the Weather Prediction Center. And you can see that still looking at anywhere between 4 to perhaps close to 6 inches of rainfall right here along the coast of Louisiana. All right. Some people in the chat, and I actually made this a bit of a meme-ish in an X post that if you haven't checked out yet, this person said, oh, this is a nothing burger. I'm not taking this seriously. All right. If you know, that's up to you. But I'm telling you right now that it's not about the wind. It's not about the storm surge. It's not about the coastal flooding with this. It's all about how much rain there is going to be associated with this. And Tony H agrees with me on this. There is going to be a lot of flooding down here. And if that's not enough, I can show you the Weather Prediction Center. I'll be more than happy to show you just how big of a risk that actually is down here. Down here in down here in Mississippi and Alabama, there is, does appear probably about another inch or two of rainfall is anticipated throughout the next 60-ish hours or so. And then, of course, again, down here where a lot of people live, Cameron, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Gonzales, Louisiana, Alexandria down here, gonna see a lot of rainfall over the course. And it looks like here a lot of this is going to fall in about the 24 to 36 hour time frame, and that is more than enough to cause a lot of flood problems. So in fact, let's take a look at our Weather Prediction Center just for the sake of things, just to show you just how serious this actually is. Not that map. We need the interactive flood map here. Here we go. So let's take a look at this right here. And let's put this into motion. Day 2. So your day 2 forecast. So this is basically for today. There's a slight risk down here for New Orleans. And then, oops, there we go. So right here, New Orleans, Gulfport, Biloxi, as well as Mobile under a slight risk for flooding for your day 2 forecast. Look at this, even Beaumont as well as Lake Charles down here under a slight risk, but that's not all. Let's go to day 3. There is a moderate risk for heavy rainfall, and You might think that a moderate risk, David, that's not that significant. Well, that's a 40% chance of significant flooding in that area, or major flooding in this case, like river flooding. Lafayette under the gun here for serious impacts. Okay, I know some of this is mainly remote, but if you live down here, this is for you. This is nothing to take lightly at all. This is a level 3 out of 4 on the flood index scale. Alexandria under a slight risk. Hattiesburg there in Mississippi under a slight risk. So this is covering some areas here for numerous days. Look at this. For day 4, still in Louisiana under a slight risk for flooding. And then by day 5, it finally moves out, and then eventually up here in the upper Midwest, the remnants of that moisture here being caught up with a frontal system, going to bring in a slight risk for heavy rainfall over Louisville in the in the upper Midwest, eventually by day 5. But long story short down here, flooding, water impacts. Number one impact with this system. It's not like Helene or Milton, where it was both wind and rainfall flooding, storm surge flooding. Now, this is mainly a flood threat. And if we go back to the models here again, I can show you why this is going to be such a big flood threat here with 93L. Even so, it is not a tropical storm or a tropical depression. I want to make that very clear in this video. And that is why my thumbnails over the last couple of days have said this is not good. This is serious, because guess what's serious? Life-threatening, unsurvivable flooding, perhaps. You saw what happened in Kerrville, Texas. We have to take this seriously, all right? Because at the end of the day, I'm here to warn you all, because if none of you are warned about this, we could have a catastrophic flood disaster. And believe me, we do not want any more water rescues because, oh, I forgot to get prepared for this system, right? So that is why, even so, this doesn't have the winds with it that will lead to damaging or down power lines, while some of the thunderstorms itself can lead to localized tropical storm force winds. It's mainly going to be the rain. And the reason why is looking at the total precipitable water imagery here. This is on the NAM 3-kilometer model. There's a lot of water in the atmosphere. So if you think about this carefully, you basically you squeeze all the water out in the atmosphere based on how much moisture there is available. This is what you're going to add up. So it's basically in the column of a parcel of air of how much water is being stored. So the higher these numbers, the more juicy, warm, and moist the air actually is. This is pure tropical. So putting this into motion here, you can see on the 18Z forecast, look at how moist this atmosphere is over Louisiana. I mean, some of these numbers, that is 2.5 to 2.8 inches of water. When we average things out a little bit more on other models like the 12-kilometer, you can see just how wet the atmosphere is going to be. So any thunderstorm that develops in this environment, which we're definitely seeing if we look at satellite, all these thunderstorms here have a lot of water. They're called water-loaded storms. And if you think about it, all the water is being thrown back into the atmosphere. So you get these very big raindrops that are very, very big, possibly the size of golf balls, or if not even larger than that. This is what we call tropical rain. And this is what's going to lead to more flooding because, well, there's more water per square meter or per cubic meter in these raindrops. So you have a lot more water being stored in that raindrop than if it was just a little drizzle or like a little microscopic drop, in other words, right? So that is what we have to consider here. Lots of water with this storm moving onshore, despite that, oh, it doesn't have the winds that are associated with a tropical depression or storm. No, the rain is going to be a very big impact with this, all right? And I can't say it enough. Please take this seriously, all right? Evacuate if necessary, if told to do so, all right? And I don't want to scare you all. I'm not here to scare you all. I'm not here to fearmonger or anything because flooding is serious. If this was just a wind threat, same thing, I would be concerned. right? There are storms that are more wind driven than flood driven, but most tropical systems have enough water that they bring flooding associated. Okay, so here's a look at the radar forecast, well, precipitation amounts, and depending on what model you actually look at. So we looked at the WPC rainfall total, but if you look at each individual model, and this is a big problem out there on social media, people like you perhaps will look at a model and be like, well, I'm in this particular area and it's only showing 1/100th of an inch. Like, look at Louisiana. I know it's hard to see, but Louisiana is right in here. I know it's very hard. I could even barely draw a line on this because all of the way it's all shuffled. But there is Louisiana right there. And you will be like, whoa, we're not getting any one drop of rain out of this, right? If we look at the HRRR model, let's see what the HRRR model shows really quickly. Look at that. That one area can get 5 inches of rain. So it really depends on what model you look at, but I would likely trust the WPC because it gives a general idea how much rainfall you could expect. All right. They're the experts over there. Weather Prediction Center. That's what WPC stands for. Okay. Or you can use the National Blend of Models. That's what I use here to give a rather good estimate of how much water is expected, regardless of a particular high resolution model like the HRRR or the NAM 3 kilometer. I'll be honest, I have my experience in California with this, especially during atmospheric river storms. Okay. There was one time the NAM was showing us getting maybe like an inch of rain, and it was on the 31st of December. Okay. Maybe a little bit, maybe just under an inch. And I'm like, man, this is not going to be a strong atmospheric river after all. We ended up with 5 inches of rainfall. Our basement flooded. Roads were closed. Rivers were flooding. All right. And that would be 3 years ago. That's going to be, 3 years ago this December. Can't believe time has flied. So that's what I'm trying to tell you all is the NAM is not your resolution. The HRRR is not your resolution, nor are any models. We have to look at guidance, and we have to figure out that, okay, based on most of the guidance showing this much of rainfall, this is what we're thinking. All right. I know you may not be in a flood prone area, but we still have to sound the alarm with these kind of things because I don't like saying this on stream. Flood waters do kill people. We have already seen that in Kerrville. Okay. And my heart and thoughts go out to those people that are being impacted by the Kerrville flooding, all because, well, a group of thunderstorms. That's all it takes. A group of thunderstorms. It takes this, folks, right here. It takes these storms to cause life-threatening flooding if you're not prepared for it. And that's why we take things seriously here on the channel. I might hype up things sometimes, and I do apologize, but sometimes we hype up stuff for a reason, okay? Not to get views, but to really emphasize, to absolutely get the word out to these people that, man, if David is concerned about this, I should too. Because I'm not going to say that, 5 inches of rain, that's not a lot of rain at all. There's not going to be any flooding because then I'm not doing my job, right? Okay. So enough with the jibber jabber over here with all of that. I hope you guys understand with what we're dealing with here. Just because this is not a tropical depression or storm does not mean the impacts are magically gone. Okay. No one's a magician here and says, oh, acadabra, bippity boo, mysteriously flooding disappears. It just doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. Okay. Because maybe you don't get flooding, but someone 2 miles down the road gets 5 inches of rain, right? That's what we are probably going to end up dealing with here. Very widely scattered to numerous areas of very heavy rainfall in a given area. Okay, so now we're going to move on because now that we talked about 93L actually Do you guys want me to look at the spaghetti plot on 93L? Please let me know before I do move on, because I have something that I wanted to show you all in this stream that kind of popped up last minute that you all need to be aware of. Yes, no, maybe so. Nah, we'll look at the spaghetti plot very quickly. I don't think it's needed though, but we will do it anyways. And I just want to see this for myself. Yeah, see, none of the models, only one model shows a tropical, only shows this becoming a tropical storm. So 99% of the chance here, this is not going to get named. Thank goodness. We will devoid a D-name storm for later on, which might not be too long from today. Let's take a look here at our track forecast, and supposedly, assuming that it's over here, Fire Ant, by the way, or Tony H, it is offshore based on the initialization here, which is interesting in itself. So supposedly this is going directly into Louisiana as a non-tropical depression or an invest of some sort, and then it loops out and kind of goes out like this, which means flooding up here, potential slight risk for heavy rainfall up there in the upper Midwest later on in the period. Even the GEFS ensemble agrees this is still onshore based on the initialization. Actually, is this even the latest run? No, it's not, is it? No, it's not. So we are waiting for that to come in. So that's basically what it's looking like. It's not looking like a big deal. Sorry if I did went over the top on it, because of course, you know, everyone I'm sure yesterday did and think that you just don't want to sleep on these systems. You really don't, because man, things could go right underneath the radar, and one night you'll go to bed and it's a invest, and the next day you'll get up and it's a category 1. Remember Milton. I want to put that into context here. Is we all know how Milton was, right? It started off with a group of storms, and voila, déjà vu. It became a Cat 5 hurricane literally a day later. And that is why we cannot sleep on these systems. Even so, we got away with this one. Doesn't always mean we'll get away with the next one if it moves into the Gulf. Because as you know, I've said this many millions of times, the Gulf right now is more than favorable to support violent hurricane production if the background state cooperates. And thank goodness of the Lord Almighty that the background state did not cooperate. We had a lot of vertical wind shear, some dry air entrainment that prevented this thing from otherwise becoming a big annoyance in the Gulf. It still is, but not as bad as what we had before. Okay, let me see. Okay, that's got to go over there. Okay, so we are now going to move forward. Now, of course, the main topic of this live stream is to talk about Invest 93L, but we're going to derail. Oops, wait, why is this? Okay, there we go. We're going to derail this conversation, and we're actually going to be looking at the MDR. And you're probably wondering, like, dude, there's nothing going on out there, dude, over the next 7 days. Why are we looking at the MDR? Why? Like, what's so important about it? Well, there is the potential that something might be on the radar of potential tropical development. And it's not just me that is talking about this. It's also starting to get out there on X as well. And I'm sure after my discussion, people will probably be posting this live stream on X and be like, oh, look, David is predicting this, you know? Because in reality, there is the possibility we are going to need to start watching this area. And I've said this many times, and you guys will be like, David, stop hyping to get views. Stop it. No, there is proof, and there is definitely evidence to support my claim that something is going to be developing potentially out here towards the very end of July. There's a small window, but it is definitely there. So putting this into motion, we can see there is 93L going to cause a lot of flood problems. We talked about how much rainfall that is going to be causing, regardless of tropical development. And this is that one case in one time. Man, my brain is, let me get my words straight here. Let me figure this out. It's one of those things that just because it is not a tropical storm, it is not it's something to ignore. No, there's gonna be a lot of rain with that. Out here in the MDR, though, things are looking nice and quiet for now. Because of the hostile conditions, the air is sinking. I definitely am aware of that. Nothing is really eye-popping right now coming off of Africa, other than a group of storms here that is moving offshore. Probably going to be another tropical wave here forming up, but otherwise nice and quiet out here. Lighter trade winds, no Saharan dust to speak of. Right here, there is a little bit of a brown tinge moving over the Leeward and Windward Islands into the Caribbean, but otherwise nice and good. Nice and quiet until we get into the very end-ish of July, when I think something we will need to monitor one of these tropical waves out here. So looking at the European model, right? So we looked at that now, latest Euro, the 12Z output. By the way, I trust the 12Z and the 0Z over the intermediate runs. So if you end up clicking on an 18Z run or a 06Z run, for one, that doesn't go as far out, and two, it may not be entirely 100% accurate because it's reusing the data from the morning to make that forecast. So just a little side note that I wanted to kind of tell you all. So there is 93L. That's the vorticity. Take note, it is over land still. That's what Fire Ant is saying, and I do agree with him on that. So there is no chances that this thing is going to really bundle up at all. So fortunately, we all can give ourselves a clap that fortunately we got away with this one with no hurricane or major Milton kind of territory. But again, it's not always going to end up that way. I want to make it clear. We have all of August to go through. We have all of September, all of October. And the fact that this is going to be a potentially very backloaded season, we may have to keep an eye on November now. So even into early and mid-November, we will have to keep an eye on the tropics too. And that's why the hurricane season doesn't officially end until the 30th of November. So here is a tropical wave coming off of Africa. This is tilted in such a way that, yeah, this could bundle up if it wants to, but there's a lot of dry air here, a lot of deep layer vertical wind shear sinking in the atmosphere. The MJO is not in a configuration needed for that. And I will show you all this guy's post from Weather Tiger to talk more about the MJO and why it's important for us. And there's a lot of scientific research being done about the MJO and why when there's all this green or rising motion over the Atlantic, why things are delayed. That's going to be on Weather Tiger's post here in a little bit. So please hang on tight for that. So let's put this into motion because look at nothing is out there developing in the next 7 days. Wow, woohoo, right? Over throughout the July 23rd timeframe. Nice, good Azores high out here. Nice, good trade winds screaming through the area. Even nice, good conditions up here in the Northeast, although maybe some showers and thunderstorms. Now, there is some speculation that we may have to watch for some frontal features that come off of the Northeast, and they might try to develop into little areas of spin and then kind of back around like this and retrograde. I highly doubt that's actually going to happen. So, but something to keep an eye on for. We've seen a lot of that this year with Barry, Andrea, as well as now Chantel recently, about a week and a half ago. And so we cannot ignore those frontal-like features that come down out of Canada, out of the West, and they could typically spin up if there's enough lift and enough vorticity available. So now you're probably looking at this and you're probably like, I spy my little eye on something. And you guys probably will not even begin to think and guess what it actually is until you actually know where to look. All right. You probably know what it is. And I'll circle it in down here. It is this area right down here, and Tony H is like, oh, David, that's pretty small. Yeah, that's very small. It's not going to do much. You're right in one sense that it doesn't look like it's going to develop, but wait until I show you other models and their ensembles that show something a little different on that. So that would be the next area that we will need to watch. There is definitely enough bundling up of energy here. You can clearly see a height line contour here really bowed back like this into a backward shaped C with some vorticity. So that would be the next area that we will need to watch coming off of Africa in about 8 or so days, while we have this nice good ridge of high pressure out here in the northeastern Atlantic. Now, that does not end up developing, but look, it still holds together a little bit. You can see a little bit of that yellow footprint indicating a little bit of modest spin here. Those winds with that system are about 30 knots. So this would be definitely a strong tropical wave moving into the leeward and windward islands of the Caribbean in a little over 10 days out, with another tropical wave coming off of Africa. But that one a lot more broader than this one that we are continuing with. Okay, I'm not saying this is going to develop, but it has been trending a little stronger on the European model as of late, and that is why we do need to watch that eventually. If it continues to trend, there's going to start to be a lot of talk about it. People are going to start making videos on this, I'm sure, down the line as confidence eventually increases. And it's not just the European model, it's the APHIS model, the artificial intelligence model, picking this up as well. And it's been like that for a while. If we go back to previous runs, not every run has it, but keep an eye on this little area, little guy. If we go back in time, you can see it has been trending there in recent models. So there has been a disturbance being indicated here on the artificial intelligence model, and that is why it's a good idea that we kind of start looking at it, starting to talk about it a little bit, since 93L is not as well interesting for the general population that is watching this live stream, but more so probably more interested in what goes on here, because if this actually develops, where will it go? Will it go this way? Will it go this way? Or will it go kind of that way? That's going to be the answer that we don't even know yet. Now, looking at the GFS model, let's see what that model is showing. And this is the 18Z forecast. This just got done rendering and initializing. Let's see what happens. So it's not showing anything, quite frankly, but look what it's also trying to show here off of the Gulf Coast. Another area of disturbed weather. So it's interesting to me that none of the European model family is picking this little guy up here, another frontal feature, and that becoming a tropical storm as it goes this way, similar to Barry. But it's not showing what goes on off of Africa, which is also something that I have not seen in a while. So yeah, GFS not on board with that wave coming off of Africa in about 7 or 8 days, but has a little bit more of mischief going on over here in the Gulf Coast, where, well, a lot of people live along the Gulf Coast. And actually, let's take a quick look at that very quickly, right? I always like looking at these things, and let's see what it looks like. Yeah, this is definitely a very elongated area of low pressure that retrogrades, and it goes over those very warm Gulf waters. So you can see it developing right here. It retrogrades and backs up. See what the moisture plot looks like? There is definitely a lot more moisture with this piece of energy, but let's see what wind shear or upper level winds look like. Upper level winds don't look all that unfavorable. So let's go to wind shear really quickly. Actually, vertical wind shear is on edge with that one, probably about 20 knots. So that will be something to really watch in future model runs of the GFS. But again, even regardless of if that even develops, actually, there is a lot more rainfall coming to Florida over the southeast as a whole with that system. So yeah, GFS, yeah, is on. It's it's doing what GFS likes to do, of course. So we'll see if that actually pans out. But otherwise, nothing here on the GFS for the foreseeable future through early August. This is the 1st of August on the GFS, other than a very, very strong monsoonal gyre coming off of Africa here, part of a broader extension of the West African monsoon that is positioned here. But nothing stirring up at the very moment on this particular model. Now, let's look at the Canadian model, because the Canadian is on board with the Euro and the artificial intelligence. Thank you for tuning in, Tony H. You can see right here, look what it's picking up on. Look what it's picking up on. Yep. What is that, my friends? Well, that's a little area of disturbed weather, not as pronounced as what the Euro is showing, but that's all it takes. So there is something that the model is picking up on versus what our GFS is showing. Again, looking at the GFS in the same time frame, there is literally nothing out here versus our European artificial intelligence model. If we back it up, it's a little faster on this. And if we go back a little more there, but not on the GFS, while the Canadian shows the potential for some development. Okay, let's look at the moisture plot, though, why things will be unfavorable. All this brown indicates lots of dry air, moisture down to the south here, of course, very suppressed convection. And then there is our tropical wave right here. Pay very close attention to this. This is definitely a very deep blob of moisture that's going to need to be watched in future model runs on how this all evolves, because it does try to hold together for the next 10 days here once it comes off of Africa through at least the 25th of July. See if we actually have a... Dang it, we do not have a satellite imagery on this. Simulated, in fact. But there is a look at it. Lots of dry air. That's why I'm a little skeptical about this developing, because there's definitely a lot of brown on the background side of things. And then maybe another tropical wave here with a lot of moisture that we'll need to watch. So stronger tropical waves coming off of Africa by early August is certainly a thing now, and I'm not making this up. We will show you the post from Weather Tiger here in just a second. A lot of reading, but I want you all to learn as I go with all of this. So you guys actually learn something instead of like, oh, David's boring. We're not learning from something, right? So that's what the European model is showing. Deep layer vertical wind shear on this system. If we go back in time, there is our disturbance. Follow me on this right here. There is our tropical disturbance. Very little vertical deep layer shear, because the shear vectors are going outward like this in all quadrants, which means shear is generally under 5 to 10 knots. So maybe a semi-conducive environment here briefly before maybe some northerly shear picks up on the system towards the period of July 28th and beyond. All right, so that's what we're going to be watching in days to come. Whether or not will that wave actually materialize. But I've got some opened eye. No, wait, not that. Let's go over here. This is what the European ensemble is picking up on. All right, and if we go back to the 0Z output from last night, I want to do a comparison. Remember what the ensemble showed last night on its 0Z output. Here's the 12Z output from the Euro. Take a look at that. Now, do you all agree that, wow, we may have to, we might need to be tracking something here very soon because of what the ensemble is actually showing here? And these are different members that are off of the same model that are ran at 51 different times with slightly different initial conditions. Okay. And this gives us a range of possible outcomes. And what we have here is definitely a cluster of potential tropical development out to about the day 10 time frame. If that wasn't enough, let's take, oh wait, I don't even have it on here. The chances of tropical development out here, by the way, a tropical depression forming in the next 10 days is up to 40%, 40 to 45%, which is definitely elevated. And that's why we will be watching this carefully. But in the meantime, the global tropic hazards outlook is not highlighting anything, which I'm a little bit surprised about, given the fact that the ensembles are starting to trend on that system. Nothing out through the 5th of August, so looking good out here. But probably beyond that, we will need to start watching closely whether or not will the Atlantic wake up in August for tropical development. Okay, let's move on and let's start talking about Weather Tiger's hurricane watch. Yeah, he's watching the tropics just like I am. And so there's a lot of info that he covers in this blog post that I'm going to read. I'm not going to read all of it because it will just takes at least 10 or so minutes or 15 minutes, but I will point out some important things. We talked about this already, so we're going to move on. We talked about that with the rainfall. The Saharan dust, we'll talk about this right here. So this is what the Saharan dust is looking like right now. Of course, there is certainly some dust out there, but not as much as what we were dealing with nearly a week ago. So let's start here. So further east, all right. Further east, the tropical Atlantic has been calm in July with little convection due to a combination of of the usual Saharan dust and unusually persistent sinking air aloft. This quiet is likely to continue for at least another week, but the eastern and central Atlantic may start to become somewhat less hostile to tropical waves starting in what? What did we just talked about? In about 8 to 10 days. The fact that he's saying 8 to 10 days means he sees this just like I do. And that is why I'm very interested in what he has to say here. Days and extending into early August. Why is that a possibility? Well, that gets into the realm of what meteorologists call subseasonal forecasting. So we're going to skip this part. This is a bit complicated to kind of put into context, but this is what the MJO does over a typical period of about 48 days on average. And so you can see this rotates. You follow the green or the blue, that means more rain, more convection. This moves eastward over time. But you'll wonder like, wait, it never gets into the Atlantic, David, but how does that lead to more tropical development? Well, it's not that it goes over the Atlantic that it causes that. It's when it gets over in this basin right here in India, the Indian Ocean, even in the maritime continent. That's what you call the maritime continent over here in far eastern Africa, into India, as well as Indonesia. When the MJO is in this phase, in phases 1, 2, and 3 particularly, that's when things get very busy in the Atlantic. All right, that's how that all works. It's not the fact that rising motion gets into the Atlantic, but when it gets into this portion of the basin, that's when things usually wake up. And right now, it's in the far western Pacific, in the central Pacific, which is not ideal for anything to develop. Okay, so one such wave is the Madden-Julian Oscillation, or MJO. All right. And of course, the MJO is a global pattern of winds aloft that influences the location and the extent of tropical convection. At the simplest level, think about it. Think about thunderstorms sending masses of moist, unstable air rising into one part of the tropics. In the atmosphere, we obey the laws of thermodynamics, so that rising motion must be compensated by sinking stable air in another part of the world in the tropics. So when it's rising in the Western Pacific, well, the air has to sink somewhere, and that is in the Atlantic right now. And that is why we're not seeing anything. Okay. The symbiotic pattern of wetter and drier conditions can move east as a unit and typically completes a full revolution of 60 days when it is active. And so the most man, tongue twister. The most impactful tropical systems and hurricanes occur in phases 3 and 4, perhaps sometimes in rare occasions in phases 1 and 2. So we got to keep that in mind, okay? That usually in phases 2, 3, and 4 are ideal for the Atlantic to wake up, with phases 5, 6, 7, and 8 that are least impactful. Yes, we do get tropical systems in phases 5, 6, and 7, and 8, but are not typically common in those phases of the MJO versus if it's in phases 2, 3, and 4, if that makes sense. All right, sometimes in rare occasions, even in phase 1, things could wake up a little bit because phase 1 is pretty much over here in India. Okay, so you could actually check this out. I'm going to actually put this in the chat so you all can click on that. So this is how the MJO has been behaving. Is this going to actually load on us? So I know this is quick, but this is basically where we're at now. Look at all that sinking over Africa. Lots of rising over here in the Central Pacific and Western Pacific. And the MJO actually overall is not very coherent at the same time. And that is why we're seeing what we're seeing. We're not seeing hurricanes yet. Like, well, it's not that time of the year yet for intense hurricanes. That doesn't come until later in August. So returning to the present, the Atlantic may be stuck in what amounts to a convection suppressing phase of the MJO for much of June and July, which hasn't been moving much. Thus, all three named storms so far have developed outside of the deep tropics, with nothing to watch in the Atlantic's main development region between Central America and West Africa. However, models indicate less unfavorable conditions are probable in the next couple of weeks or so. We'll see if the MJO, the Madden-Julian Oscillation, influences and causes a boom or upstroke in tropical convection that eventually triggers development someday. In the meantime, keep watching the skies. So again, this is Weather Tiger, by the way. Very good guy. I highly trust his posts and everything with what he has to put out there. And what we're in right now is just a slumber. But look what's going to happen here as we go into the latter part of July into early August. Aha! You never knew this would come around, right? So this is over the next 46 days. And what we're looking at here is areas of rising motion or sinking motion. So sinking motion is in orange and red, as you can see here. Rising motion is right here and also right here. So there's a pattern that moves all the way from west to east. So the time goes down. And so this is increasing in time, and increasing in time as we move down the image. So what we have here is a lot of sinking in the Atlantic. That's a given. That's why we are not seeing any development. But look what happens here by the end of July. Ooh, yeah. Rising motion. What does that coincide with? Can anybody guess? That tropical wave coming off of Africa. So will it be able to get its act together? That is going to be a big question mark, right? With all that rising motion and gets into Africa. This would be likely more of a convective coupled Kelvin wave moving over the area. And then maybe another opportunity by the early to the middle of August. And then it all really gets active here. Look at the MJO moving into Central Eastern Africa as well as into the maritime continent for the second half of August. That is going to be what we're going to be curious about, whether or not this actually happens. And do we get very intense, vigorous tropical waves coming off of Africa by the middle to the end of August in time for climatology, right? We'll just have to be patient and wait, right? If we don't get any development in August, like we almost didn't last year, then yeah, we're not going to see a very above average season. That's all that there is about it. But this does not even go all the way out into September at all. This only goes out to August 29th. Yeah, August 29th. So still not done with August at the very end of this image, which means we have a long, long way to go. Okay. So while it's dead now, that's not going to last. Okay. I can rest assure you that right now. I know I've been saying that for the last few weeks that, oh, it's going to get active in late June, early July. Then late June, early July comes around. Oh, where's the tropics, David? I know. People are laughing at me like, oh, you keep saying this, but it's not going to actually happen. Well, that's because each time the MJO has tried to get into the maritime continent, it has failed to do so, throwing our forecasts off a little bit. Okay. So that is basically that. Any questions, folks? I'm going to be here for a while since there are 210 of you that are watching at the moment. But here's a look at Invest 93L right now. Can't trust a forecast more than 2 days out. Yeah, at this point with this system, that's a good reminder. Yeah, we can't always. Sometimes models do excellent with these systems and sometimes they just don't. But how's everybody's day? By the way, very, very off-topic weather question for you all. I'm actually going to the eye doctor tomorrow. Just, you know, it's a part of a comprehensive eye exam. They checked my peripheral vision last week. I do not have glaucoma. I don't have any blind spots, so that's good. They looked inside my eye back in late May on the 29th. They found my eyes are very healthy. My retina, because they looked inside my eye, they did not have to dilate my eye for, I don't know. But they found that my retina, my optic nerve are very healthy and good. So, with that being said, a very off-topic question. The eye doctor, his name is Bill Henshaw, by the way. You can look him up on the internet. He wants to check my eyes for wandering eye. If you guys don't know what wandering eye is, it's basically that, hence the name, means one of your eyes are wandering a little bit and may not be perfectly aligned. So I'm a little nervous about that. Just because I am nervous, I think people would be nervous to go to the eye doctor for that. So I have a big important question for you all. Okay. And I want you guys to be honest with me on this one. I'm sure all of you are. Do any of you in the chat here have wandering eye at all? Do any of you in the chat that are watching this live stream right now have wandering eye? If you do you think, like if the eye doctor that I go to tomorrow finds that I do have wandering eye, I'm not going to need surgery, right? You have lazy eye, Dusty? Okay. Just 20/20 vision. Lucky you. Lucky you. My vision's 20/40. That's why. Let's put these on. You guys get to see what David looks like with his glasses on. This is me with my glasses on. I know it's a very random question, but I am in a little frantic panic about it. Okay. I don't think I'm going to need, I'm the fear that I have is because I have wandering eye, the eye doctor, I don't think I have it though. because I can see one finger far away. So if I'm holding up one finger, I can see one finger. I'm not seeing two images. I'm not double vision. My ex-wife said I had wandering eyes. Oh, okay. Let me ask you guys this then. I know this is a little weird. Look at my face. I don't have wandering eye, right? I mean, it's... I've been to the eye doctor, but just these tests, these tests just kind of bring up my nerves a little bit. I have found out, okay, but I want to hear your guys' opinion. Evidently, if I'm not sure if I have it, probably means I don't. David, you... No lazy eye, so you say I don't have lazy eye. Well, that's a given. I think lazy eye is worse than wandering eye. So, yeah. Well, there have been a change of plans as far as streaming goes, just because of how this system is. I really don't see this becoming a tropical storm at all, or a tropical depression. I have canceled my live streaming on this system overnight. So when you guys were probably thinking that, oh, David's going to go live constantly on this, doesn't look like that's going to happen right now. Just because of how disorganized and disheveled this thing is. I mean, it's really nothing. It's exciting on satellite where there's a lot of deep convection, but it's really not like a Milton at all. Oh my gosh, half-backed, come on. Oh, okay. Ma'am. All right. Yeah, I will have a choice, and I'm going to opt out for it because a lot of people don't mind having eye surgery, but any surgery with me doesn't fly with me very well. I don't handle surgeries very well. So what's up? Easy peasy. Whoa, you changed your name. You changed your profile picture. See what picture you have now. Yeah, you changed your picture. You literally did. Actually, Easy Peasy works in the medical field, so I could ask him that same question. What's up, Dakota? How are you doing? What's up, Brady? What's up, everybody? I want to thank you all, by the way, for subscribing to the channel. We have really, really blown up over the course of the last week. I cannot even believe how many subscribers we actually have on the channel. We're almost up to 46,700 subscribers already. I mean, I want to show you guys the growth here really quickly. This is the subscriber growth. On the 11th, started off at 42,960, and look at just how much we have come since literally Saturday of last week. So I want to thank you all for subscribing and supporting the channel, because my goodness, we are not far away from 50,000 subscribers, which is the next big milestone here on the channel. I don't want to force you guys to subscribe. I'm not trying to sound like that, but like, I do appreciate all of the support. I really do. Yeah, I was shocked. Like holy cow. I gained like almost 1,400 subscribers in one day, like 1,400. So, yeah. Um I've had about 10 surgeries up to and including open heart surgery. If I let it scare me, it's on me. So I don't think about it and choose to focus other things. Thank you so much, ma'am, for helping me there with that. I try to focus on other things, you know. But when it comes to my eyesight, especially, you know, it's just in my blood. So, yeah, and there's really not much to talk about other than what we just talked about. This actually ended up being a more discussion type of thing than than just a hangout stream. David, look at the NHC new update. Oh boy, that might mean something is there. What's new about the new update? There's nothing new. There's nothing new. Still 40/40. I don't see anything out here that has been highlighted. Yeah, Brady, because I get knocked out for the procedure and I don't like being knocked out for any surgeries. As in like, what's up, Jordan Fate? How are you doing? No, there's no news. It's a 40% chance. That's all it is. NHC. The associated shower and thunderstorm activity remains disorganized and located south to southwest of the center. The system is forecast to continue moving westward across the northern portion of the Gulf tonight, and it is expected. If this system moves far enough offshore, environmental conditions over the Gulf appear generally favorable for additional development, and a tropical depression could form over the next day or so before the system moves fully inland by the end of the week. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to develop. What's up, Smokin' Swamp Outdoors? How are you doing? Also, something interesting on my channel. I wanted to show you all this. I find this very, very hilarious. You guys are going to probably laugh, okay? Why in the heck is YouTube recommending a video? Let's go to posts. This literally... Oh, hold on. Where is it? Oh, okay, it's right here. I'm laughing. This literally is being recommended. This is literally a year ago, almost a year ago, okay, on the channel. And yet it's being recommended all of a sudden. It's just like blowing up, and people are literally laughing at me because I'm clickbaiting, I'm fear mongering, when in reality, this is actually almost a year old. I don't get it. Like YouTube all of a sudden blowing that video up. Yeah, I know. The YouTube algorithm is very weird. Yeah, I so agree with that, because literally a couple of days ago, 29,000, now I'm up to 62,000 views on this video already. And I'm still getting like almost 700 views an hour on it. And I'm like, dude, why is this blowing up? Why? And then people are coming to me saying I'm clickbaiting, I'm fear mongering, when look at the date. If there's a date, I don't think there's a date on shorts. So that's probably why people are assuming it's, because it relates to exactly what the system is doing. Did you see the fire at Area 51? What the heck? There's a fire at Area 51. I do not even know about that Area 51 fire. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, for tropical weather updates, live streaming coverage, and updates on things like this, please do so. If you haven't been here before, please subscribe. It really does help out a lot. It really does. Let's get me to 50K. That's the goal over here for right now. Halfway to 100,000. Hurricane Milton Part 2 coming this year? No. Let's not say that. But yeah, these thunderstorms are definitely strong over Florida in this huge area. There's no way I'm gonna hit 1 million subs. No, 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 no. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, the plan is, and I thought of that a few days ago, that when I hit like 999,900 subscribers, when I'm within 100 subscribers away from hitting 100,000, I'm going to go live, and I'm just going to stream live until I hit that mark. That's the plan, but that is a long way to go. That's a very long way to go at the moment. I'm still more than 50,000 subscribers away from 100,000 in the first place. So I'm not thinking much about that right now, but when it gets closer, you know. I agree. Let's pin that guy. Let's pin this guy's can I not pin? Why can I not pin this guy? Thank you for the $2 donation. Easy on that. Yeah, so he says our coverage of hurricane season this year will be so much better compared to last year, and that is because easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Hey, Easy, do you want to join the stream really quick and explain what our plans are? That will keep me going live for a little bit. You are online, so don't be going hiding. I'm just kidding. You're funny. My good old friend, Easy peasy. Easy, easy.
Or I should say, easy peasy. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna give you a call. All right.
What's up?
Hello?
Hello. Okay, I think desktop audio is on. Talk really quick.
Hello?
Yep, you're coming through loud and clear.
Look at that.
People are laughing at me because of the voice changer. Well,
You probably won't.
yeah. David, stop with the voice changer. All right, sorry. Sorry. All right, so let's talk to the people that are in this live stream right now. What are we planning to do for the hurricane season within 24 hours before landfall?
24-hour live coverage of the hurricane. It's now here on the one and only David Schlatt Howard channel. We're doing 24-hour live coverage with cameras on top of cameras on top of cameras, full of action. It's going to be a lot of work, but we're going to get it done.
Yep, and if that wasn't serious enough, it's not only Easy that's going to help me with this, but there's also a couple of other people that will help me as well. So we're going to have like a little news station, not for ego friendly here, but like we're going to have help behind it all. Easy Peasy is one of them. And then of course, we're more likely going to have Tony, Daniel, which isn't here tonight. He's probably busy. And then Ethan B. So we're planning to have at least 4 people helping me live stream on something very significant. But ultimately, Easy Peasy here is the assistant director of my YouTube channel. He actually could go live for me when I'm not on, like on my computer, because me and him have TeamViewer, and therefore, like, if I'm gone somewhere on vacation or at work or doing something, then he is like, oh, let's go live. So he's like the assistant director over here of operations. So
Thanks
yeah.
for the promotion. Okay. That's funny.
So it's basically like it's rain or shine, what floats your hind. We will be live if anything life-threatening from a tropical storm to a Cat 5 hurricane occurs. Five inches of rain in the fish bowl. Take it serious. Exactly. Which I wanted to let you know, Easy, if you're still here. You still here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sending a sticker. Hold on.
Oh.
I've spent my hard. There's another sticker.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the $5 donation. So
That's $10 now that you owe me, David. I'm kidding.
Well, rest assured, folks, I am not doing this for free. This at the end of the day, this is a job that I do, and so I will be paying my my helpers over here, especially Easy Peasy, because he is the director of, or the assistant director of operations that will make these streams possible when I am not on, or if I'm not on. So yeah, I just cannot wait. I'm just waiting eversly so patiently for the Atlantic to finally wake up from its slumber party, which it has been in technically since the beginning of the hurricane season. Although we had some few sneaky systems closer to home, those were not very big at all. But we're waiting for the bigger action if that actually comes to fruition. What's up, Sean? What's up? So yeah, that's how it's gonna play out, and I cannot wait to see what we are capable of doing here on the stream. And if needed, if it's like even a Cat 5 hurricane, we might even push 36 hours before landfall if necessary, if it's that level of extremeness, if it ever gets to that point.
I will stay up for 36 hours straight if I have to.
You will, no, really?
I've worked for 36. Yeah, I work 36 hours sometimes. I'll do it.
Sweet.
If it gets to that. Hopefully we won't have a Cat 5 or a Cat 4 if we're hoping on that.
Hopefully not, because that means 36 hours up to that level. Invest 93L looks okay at the moment. Not great, but decent. This is very disorganized. There's a lot of blobbierness of convection that's occurring with this. So it looks really disorganized. And that is why this is for you, Easy. Probably not going to end up live streaming on this now up until landfall, just because it looks so disheveled. If necessary, though, if you want, we could go live tomorrow for the flood event, but like, see, it's cameras are possibly helpful in that sense if we could find cameras, but it's not really a live streamable because it's not even a tropical depression or storm at all.
Yeah.
It's,
Have you seen the new GFS vorticity?
there's a second system
The
coming.
18Z?
Yeah, the 18Z. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the GFS is doing GFS things. I do not believe much of it right now because it's only off of one model. It's showing that retrogression. So I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt.
I was talking about for the current storm. I wasn't
Oh,
look at the 18Z 700Z vorticity.
700 vorticity.
And then look at the
It doesn't. No, it doesn't look like anything.
You're looking at well, what am I looking at? Oh wait, never mind. I'm looking at it all. Well, yeah, okay. Disregard that. Okay. I was looking at an old model there.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for the $5 twice for that.
It does show a little system though, only about 200 hours out in the Gulf.
Yeah, I saw that. It's again, that is really, I mean, it's been showing something in that area, but like if it's only off of one model until it gets closer, I mean, I don't even think the Canadian
The
Canadian is showing something similar though too. It is showing something in that area, but let's wait for the Euro and let's see consistency amongst all of our 5 global models to make like an ultimate decision if that thing is actually going to develop. Because right now the NHC is not saying anything about it, which means we shouldn't worry much about it yet until it gets closer. And consistency between model runs and different model types increases as well.
I think the Icon wants this storm to be even more well developed than we think, though. I feel like on the Icon, it's just been a firm believer in this thing ever since the get-go.
Yeah, let's see. See what the latest Icon is showing. I haven't seen that yet. It still wants something maybe, but again, very weak. If any winds happen on this, it's going to be like 15 to 20 miles an hour. It's very little wind on this compared. It's like your typical Gulf breeze. It's nothing unusual.
The flooding is going to be the
Big
thing.
Yes.
What's the...
There's a look at the flood
close
threat.
What is the NAM saying for the flooding?
It's doing what NAM things like to do.
Yeah.
It's very scattered. I don't like looking at the NAM very much. I like looking at the NBM, National Blend, and the WPC QPF forecast, because that gives a more average, more non-biased look for rainfall totals. So if I just look at one model, people are going to laugh at me and be like, why are you looking at one model? It's showing very, very little rainfall or too much. Any North Alabama impacts? North Alabama impacts do not look very significant with this. According to the WPC, only indicating maybe up to a half an inch of rain at the very most for northern Alabama. It's really going to target central southern Louisiana and far southern tip there of Mississippi and Alabama. That is going to get the heaviest rainfall, which they're already getting right now because of all the thunderstorm activity that's going on. So they are getting slapped pretty good with heavy rainfall in certain areas.
I'm gonna throw a pretty biased thing on my end. I don't know if the SBC's even I haven't even looked at the SBC, but I say on this is Friday. Friday around midday to evening, it looks like maybe a few supercells may form in central to southern Alabama, and then they kind of come together to a cluster uh, in northern Alabama. But I would definitely keep an eye on that.
Yeah. Also, man, these thunderstorms right here are so intense. There's gravity waves. I don't know if anyone notices that, but there are definitely gravity waves rippling out on the southern side of that convective canopy, cirrus canopy. That is some very deep convection right there. I would imagine those echo tops are well in excess of 50,000 feet. And they clearly are 56,000 feet. Dude, let's look at radar. Let's do some live tracking and analysis on this. Why not? Since we're here live. So, yeah, this is where the storms actually are right now. And some of this is definitely producing some heavier rainfall. See how much rainfall has dropped in the last, since the storm started. Yeah, Gulfport seen, wow, almost 4 inches of rain just south of Gulfport. That is a lot of rainfall. And that's how it is with these storms. Like, look at right here. Like, downtown New Orleans, you might see only 1/4 of an inch, but look at this. Not far away, you're up to almost 2 inches of rainfall. This little area here, 2.5 inches. So very hit and miss, but whenever you get underneath these storms, these can dump and dump and dump for minutes, several minutes. And you can see it right here. It's really stationary. A lot of lightning on this. Look at this. Man, this is crazy. A lot of lightning on that storm. Any rotation? Let's see if there's any rotation. And there is a little bit of minor rotation on that. A little bit. So maybe a water spout embedded within that. Is Dexter supposed to form? I highly doubt it at this time. I don't think it's going to get named. If it does, what a surprise. What a surprise if it gets named. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. But that always means Dexter could be saved for later on. Maybe that system that I showed you all on the ensemble, which, by the way, look at this. Easy on my stream. We need to keep an eye on that tropical wave coming off of Africa in about 8 days or so.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of members picking that up, so we will see if the trends continue. Not saying they will, but it is definitely something to really watch. Thank you, Lori, for the $10 donation. I do appreciate it very much. See if I have a sound effect. That could be my donation sound. So,
Yeah, I'm looking at some traffic cameras in Gulfport. It looks like maybe already an inch is on some roadways.
sheesh. Wow.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, goodness gracious. Yeah, maybe an inch and a half to 2.
And you just heard it from Easy. This is this is from a non-tropical
Here,
depression
I
or tropical
will
storm.
screen share it
Yes,
to you,
I
David,
will.
just so
Oh my goodness. Yeah, look at the
hold on,
rainfall.
just wait. Just wait till a car goes through.
Watch. Yeah, here comes a car. Here comes a car.
Well, it's on this side of the road, but you
Oh,
can see the
wow.
trail ways behind.
Yes. There's a lot of water on the road. Is that? Oh, no, that's.
You can see the trail it leaves behind. Look at that.
Dang. Yeah, there is a lot of water on that. There is definitely a lot of water on the ground. Oh, yeah. Jeez.
It's already starting. Nah, that guy's about.
See? And this is all from that group of storms. That's all it takes, people. That's all it takes. Because think about water has to go somewhere, right? It has to drain somewhere. And when it collects in one area and it goes down a stream or a creek, that creek tends to overflow. Now watch this car. Watch this car. Boom. Dang, that water's actually standing there. It's like a little pond.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely some minor flooding on the roadway. Hydroplaning watch has been issued for that area.
Lots of lightning too.
Lots of lightning. And that's very tropical. Like you can just taste it. You can just see it. It's very, very muggy, warm.
Oh.
Ooh. Cop 50. Probably on the way to getting someone out of water or something. Who knows?
Hydroplane. This is Hydroplane City right through here. Turn around, don't drown, people.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Oh wait, where did you get these cameras from, by the way?
It should be Mississippi dot.
Probably in my
It's
server.
Mississippi.
Let me see in my server.
Yeah, Mississippi dot traffic.
Okay.
I created a list, I think, in your server. Well, no, I don't know if it's still in there or not.
Oh no, it's not. Shoot, you would have to send me it. But yeah, that's over here somewhere where these storms are. And that's where we're seeing the flooding.
But this is Department of Transportation for Mississippi.
Thank you. That is a lot of water.
It ain't stopping anytime soon either.
Nope. Look at I-10 at Mississippi 603 cam. People using caution blinkers. Yeah. So that's in Mississippi. So we'll go over to Mississippi.
I will change to that one real quick.
Okay.
I need to figure out. Here, I'll get it up real quick.
Again, folks, this is all from this not even being named.
The I-10 Mississippi 603.
This could also have water spouts. So not only a flood threat, but definitely some water spouts. So while he's getting a new camera ready to go, we're going to still be here watching this while we're making the transition. Semi-tracking the system. It's probably further to the west, like where this, like near base St. Louis, that's where the heaviest rain is.
That's where the camera was that we were looking at there.
Oh.
Let me see. Let me find a good camera.
So yeah, there is already flooding in this area. They still have a 40% chance of tropical depression still, yes. So technically there is a chance that this still develops into a tropical depression. As it stands now, it does not look like that's going to happen until something really surprising happens with the thunderstorms. Yeah, this is really deep. Oh my goodness. Now look at that.
I just tried to open
blob.
Radar Omega and I forgot to pay the subscription.
Uh-oh.
Call me broke.
Should be automated though. Should be automatic.
I know, it's where I got a new card. I switched and I didn't put in the new one.
And look at this. All that explosive convection right there.
Yeah, I think that camera we were on is their best option.
Yeah. You like the 3D? Glad you guys like the 3D. It's like a pot of boiling water is what this area of deep convection looks like. It just is boiling air. And man, all those lightning strikes. How high up are those clouds? The Cirrus clouds, I would say, are at least 40,000 feet high. But some of the overshooting tops are at least 60,000 feet. This is definitely a pretty big flood situation waiting to happen in New Orleans. That's why we're live here for a bit. Dang, look at the echo tops on this. We're at, well, just updated, but we were at 60,000 feet. Right over where the warmest sea surface temperatures are, too. That is crazy. Could there be tornadoes? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a water spout or a tornado with this. I think your thing froze.
I'd say heightened chances of water spouts and stuff is definitely probably tomorrow evening and Friday during the day. Yeah, it is frozen. Camera went out.
That goes to show you maybe the
Oh, there it
power-
is. Look at that. We're back.
Yes. It's not raining as hard there now.
No, that big blob that you were talking about moved out.
That's good.
But it is still raining and there's no sun for the evaporation to happen, so
Nope. It's the easy peasy storm. No, I'm just kidding.
I'd like to have a
Man.
storm named after me. Have my name etched in history.
Yeah. There's a big storm, though, down to the south of that, though, that has... I mean, I've never seen so much lightning production with that storm.
It's the water. I think it has a special marine warning on it. A cluster of severe thunderstorms capable of producing water spouts. So, yep, there you are. Whoever asked about the water spouts.
And this is all the lightning happening right now in real time. Real time lightning.
Look at the velocity on it, David. It has a little bit of spin to it. Very, very broad. But
Yeah,
hey,
it's quite broad. There is definitely a little bit of spin there.
that's how fast these things can wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I would not be driving that fast through that water. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be that car right there. This one.
Hold on. Trying to figure out another radar plus. Oh, there we go. Now look at all of the lightning on this. This is just incredible. I mean, that's just crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that's weird. How there's so much rain in one area.
Rainfall. Yeah, rainfall rates in that area are 2 inches an hour. So that is definitely dumping.
New Orleans is starting to get into it as well.
Oh, wow. There's a new cell that's popping up just to the north that has rainfall rates. Let's see. 7 inches of rain an hour on that storm.
Which one?
Gosh.
I might be able to get a camera.
Picayune?
Picayune,
yeah.
Picayune, maybe.
Something like that.
Picayune.
Has 7
We're
inches
gonna
of
get
rain.
bashed.
8 inches. 8 inches of rain an hour on that storm.
Wow. Yeah. Here,
So
let's see if I can get a camera going up through there. I don't have a camera right there. I have one camera.
that's fine. That's
And
very isolated.
Yeah.
These are live lightning detections going on. Just got new lightning there.
Oh, David, look at the camera right here. Look at this little lake that's forming
Oh, let me see.
right here.
Oh, wow. Ah, there's some flooding that we're witnessing. Yep, there's some water. Looks like the lights are out there or something. They're flashing yellow.
Yeah, they sure are.
Maybe
I wonder if
that's
that's why we lost connection to the camera earlier. I wonder if backup generators kind of popped back in.
wondering that too.
Lights.
Yeah, so there's definitely some flooding on that camera, especially in the lawn. Don't want to turn your back on any flooded waters at night like this. Sometimes you can't see it until it's too late.
Good
Ooh.
thing most of these houses are close by the shore, so they're kind of lifted up off the ground a little bit. I think
Yeah.
they make houses near Louisiana like that because of what happened with Katrina now. But so hopefully no one will be affected by this, like, bad.
Okay, someone asked me, a police kiddo said, can you ask the guy you're with the supercells that maybe in North Alabama could be severe or flooding? Thanks. Also, is it tropical? Thanks a lot, very much. Yes, this is very tropical based. This is not from a cold front. There's no cold front coming down out of the north triggering these storms. This is purely tropical. I mean, just me looking at this image, I can tell you right now, without me guessing, dew points, actually, I'm going to guess anyways, but dew points here are in the upper 70s. It just feels muggy. I'm not even there. The air just looks wet, and it just looks warm outside. It looks really tropical-like. And that's because it actually is tropical-like.
So for northern Alabama, to answer your question about the supercells, they are going to be a more tropical nature. But by the time they get to severe, like really northern Alabama, they're going to be really like a line or a cluster that will lack any very severe features. Um, really the only time I'm really looking for severe supercells is definitely western, southwestern, and western Alabama. Um, but other than that, northern Alabama, it's just lines and clusters up there.
Jeez. There is one storm kind of going off topic in Missouri. We won't look at cameras there, but this would be, and this is very rural. Rainfall rates there are almost 24 inches an hour. Yeah, 24 inches an hour almost. What's up, Freckles? Wait, Freckles 83. How are you doing, bud? Welcome to the stream. By the way, if you haven't been here before, please subscribe to the channel. We're actually 15 away from 700, so
Politico kiddo, yeah, more of a wind threat, definitely, if you're northern Alabama.
look at all the lightning. All the lightning. Not much going on there in Florida with lightning, though. More lightning. I live in Ohio and I'm watching your stream. Awesome. So you're up there in Ohio. Yeah, there's a fair share of isolated storms in that area, depending on where you're at. Kind of just scattered all about up there in the the upper Midwest and the high plains. Just kind of scattered about. Thank you, Kane, for subscribing. I do appreciate it. Gulfport, Mississippi. Yep. You're definitely getting a shield of rain, but no lightning in that area at the moment. All the thunderstorms are to your west, producing the majority of the lightning. But you could expect way more thunderstorms over the next couple of days, if not longer. This is just one piece of thunderstorms. What's up? Ratch 704. Another question for you, easy peasy.
For flooding concerns for northern Alabama, no. Maybe some flash flooding in certain areas that see prolonged, especially if the supercells kind of form in like a train line formation. But from all the models I can tell, they're really just a sweep. So really, all you're really gonna see is just maybe one just strong line, maybe with some gusty winds. But really, after that, it's over, and I wouldn't really worry about flooding. But I would definitely, I'm not gonna say that for sure because I don't know how the storms are gonna present, but keep an eye on the radar for sure. Now if the storm starts training along, like going over the same areas, that's when flash flooding would occur. But even if that does happen, nothing's is going to be as bad as what southern Mississippi and southern Louisiana is going to see. And but yeah, I wouldn't worry about flooding up there too much.
Man, all this lightning. Dang, this is an electrical storm down here.
That means intensity.
Yeah. David, could this system overachieve if it gets a closed low? Depending on where the low closes off at and how much time it has over water. I mean, it's running out of time. It really is. And if it did try to develop, it may have 5 to 10 mile an hour stronger winds with it, which won't make much of a difference. So at this given time, I'm starting to lean away from a tropical depression, although it is still possible we can see one. There's that 40% for a reason, but it does not matter. Okay. And actually, easy, you could probably emphasize this since I said it enough. Tell them the dangers of this system. Even so, we're not seeing a tropical storm or hurricane or a tropical depression. This system is still pretty serious, isn't it?
Very, very. A lot of, a lot of, a lot of storms that carry flash flooding can often be even more dangerous than winds, especially if the rain falls at a fast rate. Um, Sometimes this can be even like if we get uh, severe rainfall in a certain area for so long, it could be even more severe than your uh, like category one hurricanes, really. Um, Flooding is nothing that you want to take lightly, really. Flooding, it's very serious. It really is. Especially like I said, if it stays in the same spot, which the models are showing, if it's a slow mover, I don't know if anyone remembers Hurricane Harvey. That was it was a hurricane, of course. It was a lower tier hurricane, but the flooding numbers, that's what made the impact. So I'm not saying this is anywhere close to Harvey at all, but I'm just saying the impact the rain can have in the system is what we should be looking out for. Not really the wind or, the tornado risk or anything like that. It's all about the flooding.
And we have to be very conscious about that because it sounds like still, and I understand where you guys are coming from, that it's all about the winds. That's where the category comes from. It's in this case, it doesn't matter how strong this actually gets because the impacts are about the same. Even if this was a tropical depression or it could become a tropical depression, the impacts really won't change because we know for a fact what the models show, and that's what's more than likely going to happen. So this system has a lot of water with it. I mean, you're seeing it in front of you, like lots of water being piled up in the atmosphere with this. And when there's enough lift to force that all up, yeah, that's how you get rainfall rates here in some areas well over 1 inch to 2 inches an hour. In fact, there's a couple of areas here that are almost, 2 inches an hour on my little plot system that I have here. And then if we go up, there's another storm to the north here of Picayune. That's 5.25 inches of rain per hour. So that is coming down pretty dang hard when you think about it. Okay, so anything more than about 3/4 of an inch of rain, maybe 1 inch an hour, is enough to cause significant flooding. And there's a pretty big area here along this line that has rainfall rates of at least 3/4 of an inch to about 1.25 inches an hour. So remember, warm air holds more moisture. Cold air holds less moisture. Okay. So when you squeeze out all the water in the atmosphere in the form of clouds, that's what we're seeing. Thunderstorm convection. That's how you get these rainfall rates that are serious. I mean,
I would show the relative humidity GFS model, kind of accurately
yeah, let me bring up
tells.
Yeah, let me bring up the HRRR since it is high res and it does a pretty good job here at showing relative humidity. I mean, look at this. This is 92% humidity, 97%. There are some areas here that are almost 100% humidity. And your temperatures here are about 80 degrees. So that means, on a model perspective, your dew points here are around 80 degrees. That doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot of warm, moist, wet air being piled up with all of the rain that's coming down. So that's why this is going to be a really big problem, and this is going to continue to propagate outward. You can see this blob here of outflow from the storm, and that could localize convergence in other areas. This is where our system tries to develop right here. I mean, it doesn't really look much different than what it is today. I mean, this is kind of what it looks like today. This is what it's going to look like tomorrow. Although winds do pick up, some of these storms could contain winds of at least sustained of 40 to 50 miles an hour. So localized wind damage within these storms that form. But I'm not seeing widespread tropical depression or tropical storm force winds by any means. But yeah, some areas here, easy. Dew points could exceed 80 degrees. That is just juicy as heck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yuck. This is just yucky air here. I mean, Morgan City, like almost full saturation. Yeah, you'll be wearing shorts even so it's raining. So that's something to keep in mind, that it is going to definitely the just warm air holds a lot more moisture. It's incredible. It's nasty out right now, I can confirm. Yep. Because you're in Baton Rouge, right? You're over. There's New Orleans. Baton Rouge is somewhere. Yeah, here's. Oh, you're in Gonzales. Sorry. I always think you're in Baton Rouge. So you're somewhere over here. So these storms are going to head this. Oh, wait. Gonzales is right here. So you're in the outer flank of this right now. Barely getting any rain, if any at all. But it is definitely muggy there. And those storms are coming right in that general direction. This is actually really cool. This actually forecasts what cloud cover is going to look like out to an hour in time, what the storm's going to do. It's pretty cool. Little mini forecast this thing actually has. Oh, by the way, Easy, after I'm done live streaming, I'm going to need to talk to you really quick.
Okay. Yeah, I should be on
Okay.
for a little bit. I do have to eat here in a minute, though. I'm starving. I haven't ate since breakfast.
Okay. I'll probably be ending this here in the next 10 to 15.
Political kiddo. It's gonna be. Hold on, let me recheck. I'm using the NAM 3 kilometer, and the supercells for Northern Alabama show up pretty late into the evening and night hours, Friday night. You can check it out yourself. But yeah, it's the NAM 3 kilometer and Friday night, to answer your question.
Okay, these rainfall rates look like they're coming up a little bit more. We're now up to almost 2 inches of rain per hour with some of these storms moving over. Oh, this just updated. Yep, still hanging on to that 2-inch mark. So there is some pretty good rain coming down. But that's what I wanted to just tell you all, that this is not no hurricane. It is not no Cat 5 or anything like that. No. This is a non-tropical depression at the moment. It's an invest, which means the NHC is running models on it. It's for investigation. They're watching it closely. It's what invest actually stands for, and they dub it a number. So this is 93L. The next invest that develops would be 94L, 95L, 96L, 97L, 98L, 99L, and then the cycle repeats itself over again. So it goes back to 90L after 99. And then the cycle repeats itself over and over and over again. Why don't they just do 1L, 2L, 3L? I don't know. Just how they designate things. But yeah, this is what we're watching. And I'm fishing that lightning is scaring me. I can see it from a distance. Ooh, boy, you're fishing. Be careful. Be careful, Johnny. Because it's going to rain or might be sprinkling in your area. Probably not now. But rainfall rates in your area are about 0.04 of an inch an hour. So it's sprinkling just a teeny bit over there. Just a little bit. What's up, Dopey? Dopey. How are you doing? If you all haven't been here before, some of you or most of you have been here before, but any of those that are new that haven't been here before, Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon. It does help out very, very much. And also leave a like if you are enjoying the live content that we are providing here. I'm only going to be live here for a little bit longer, not much. I need to eat some dinner and do some things. We are not going to live stream up until landfall. If something were to change rapidly, then we would do it, but I don't see that happening right now. And you guys are probably like, why? I mean, it's very innocuous, other than it's going to bring a lot of flooding and a lot of impacts. It's nothing compared to with what we could be dealing with later on this season, you know? Save my energy for something bigger, you know?
If we can get to 160 likes in the next minute, I'll donate another $10. If that incentivizes anyone.
Or if we could hit 46.7 or 46,700, we have 10 more subscribers to do.
If y'all can do that, I'll do another 10. David's counting on you guys. Just want to let that be known.
David, when are you gonna do another live stream, and when? Maybe this Saturday, just a typical Saturday Night Live hangout kind of thing. Last Saturday, what was I doing last Saturday? Oh my, I can't even. Oh, it was game night. I was out with my friends, playing some games. So hung out with my friends in the IRL friends in real life, not like on Discord or anything. So that came up. So that's why I didn't do it.
I will be gone Saturday night, so
That's
y'all can
fine.
have David.
Yeah, enjoy your time off when it lasts, because boy, when we get to the peak of hurricane season and we have something big to track, then I'll have to steal easy and plug him in. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, 8 subs left. Thank you guys.
Everyone subscribe.
Hit that like. We're at 150 likes almost. While we're tracking the bubbly convection, this is bubbly. Bubbly.
Bubbly.
So 7.
7.
You're scaring the chat, David.
Oh my gosh. I'm not
Come on now.
I gotta
Look at
have a
that.
little bit of tune it to that, you know?
I just know if a political kiddo is frightened right now. He's scared out of his boots.
Sorry, political kiddo. I know you're joking around. Because you love your
Are you?
YouTuber over here. Yeah, he's laughing.
You can be honest with me, political kiddo. You can be honest with me. Just me. See, he says so scared. He's scared. Look at that. Look at him, David.
No, it's the way he sounds. It's so scared.
I don't know.
See,
I'm
he's
getting a different
laughing.
vibe from
The
him.
thing is, he's laughing.
That
he
could be
hasn't-
tears too. See, that could be tears. What if he's
No,
Oh,
he's
man.
laughing so hard that there's tears. Because he
Oh,
likes...
come on.
He likes
Come
that all
on.
so much.
Yeah. I know I'm being a little goofy right now.
You could have done a little bit better, political kiddo. You should have sold the act a little bit. Be like, oh,
Yeah, see,
I had a
he's
heart
being
attack.
look at that. He's being sarcastic.
I know. I'm kind of.
Ah,
I'm trying to lure you guys to subscribe if you haven't already.
I just love my Roadcaster. The $800 toy that I have, I love it so much. It's my favorite. My whole new setup is my favorite. Come on, Darrell Belcher. You're being sarcastic. What's up,
He is being
Dirge?
sarcastic.
What's up, Dirge? Dirgy Dirge.
Political kiddo, you stole my crown. It's mine. It's mine. Give it back.
Wait, what does that crown mean? That seems new in YouTube.
That's just an emoji.
I think that's part of it.
Oh, wait. Oh, the purple crown?
Yeah, the purple. Yeah, it has a number 3.
Oh, I'm number 1. Heck yeah.
Wait, where? Oh, you didn't put your thing in chat, so I don't know if you have a
Oh,
crown.
well, I do have a crown. Hold on.
What's up, Diana?
Oh, there. See, look. I have a crown.
Oh, nice. Congrats. Let me see if I can put one in. Let's see. Testing.
Brady is asking, where has Ethan been? I don't know.
He's been really,
he?
really busy, and tonight he's really busy. He's always available on Thursday nights, but he's available like when a lot of you are asleep. So we end up talking until like midnight, which is really, really late. But rest assured, I can rest assure you all, once the peak of hurricane season comes and we actually have something more than just Invest 93L to track, I'm sure he will definitely be on. Our team will be in full lively mode. What's up? Dawson. Hey. Hey.
6 more.
Yeah, someone says it's definitely going to strengthen. We'll see about that. You're like
political kiddo just called me the best weatherman. You're talking about me, right? Yeah, he's talking about me. Yeah. I'll take the credit for that one. David, you got the next.
What's up, Michael Galantine? How are you doing? Or Galantine? So we are tracking this for a little while longer. A miniature milestone up ahead here. What's up, JFB? Forecast revival. How's everything? It's so amazing to see all these different people here interacting with us watching. I always think it's 147 YouTube accounts watching us here. It's actually people.
Yeah, it's people. I'm a person, I think.
You're a YouTube viewer. I'm just kidding.
I'm a manager, you said.
Yeah, I know.
Assistant manager.
He's the king.
I guess I would be the manager. Ethan or whoever falls underneath me is the assistant manager. I think that's how. Or I'm the CFO.
No,
Or
you're basically like the senior. You're like the second, and then it would be Ethan B being the third. He'd be the third person. Well, he's not very active when it comes because he's busy with a lot of stuff. I'll have to pick out roles for people, their positions when it comes to that. But what's up, Area 931? Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you like the channel so much.
Political kiddo. I mean, I can drop my Cash App. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please don't take that seriously.
But I just want to thank all of you for like supporting me thus far, getting me to where I'm at. Hasn't been easy. There have been some tough times along the way. But I'm here doing it today. My 3rd year anniversary on this channel is 2 months away. 2 months away. The 15th of September or the 16th-ish. I think it is my seniority date on this channel. So, and we're almost there to 50,000. So, but I did want to make it clear, though, a lot of you not trying to clickbait, not trying to fearmonger on my thumbnails. Even Easy can tell you why I make the thumbnails like I do. And actually, Easy, you're probably good at explaining things than actually me, myself.
I mean, it's simple. We or David, I'm not gonna say we because I have my own separate job, but David relies on this as a good amount of income. Of course, we all have to make money somehow. There's always bills to pay. There's always, you gotta live in a house. There's always bills, rent, whatever. We gotta introduce some contrast into the thumbnails because then we don't get paid. Everyone's got to live their life. Um, you know, so we're not trying to fear monger. We're not trying to, create fear. We're just trying to make a living out here.
Not really. That's not why I'm doing YouTube, though. It's not about the money. It's not about the views, but it's about putting my passion into a job, and that job being what I do love best for you all. And a lot of you do enjoy this, but I don't want to make a very blandish type thumbnail that looks all boring, that looks all, I can't stand this thumbnail. You have to have some contrast and color to it. I mean, look at all of the weather YouTube channels on YouTube and tell me which thumbnail is not clickbaity, So you have to you have to blend in with other channels. You just kind of have to get on the freeway and ride the flow, Some of my thumbnails.
Easy, do you have a channel? I do not. I don't have time for a channel. That's why I'm just helping David.
5 more.
It's just, you got to ride the wave. You got to just kind of fit in. Because here's the thing. If you look it up on YouTube, how to increase your click-through rate, well, they're going to tell you that. Well, you got to make thumbnails that stand out. And I'll be honest, I'm not joking around here. ChatGPT. You guys know what that is? It's a AI-based chat program software that I use, and it gives me thumbnail ideas that I use. So it tells me that, okay, you need to make your thumbnail like this and like that. So some of them kind of come across a little aggressive, and I do apologize. But at the end of the day, it's not about the thumbnail and the title. It's about click on the video, watch most of the video, and come and tell me how you felt when watching the video, Thank you so much. I'm glad I make you laugh so much.
I think he's talking about me.
Oh.
No, he's not. I'm kidding. He's not. He's not. He's not. He's not.
Yeah, let's see the system, what it's up to right now on Windy.com. AI is scary. Some people think it's a little scary in some sense. Yeah. Depending on how you
Oh
use
my!
it.
Look at that, David. Look at that in chat. That's cool. That's cool.
What?
ChatGPT used your video as a source.
Look up all weather videos. All are clickbait. His are not even too bad. Also, I was telling ChatGPT about the weather and he showed your video and used it as a source. Oh, look at that. I mean, let's actually put ChatGPT to the test really quick, just for the heck of it. We're going to have some fun.
David, I hate to run real quick, but I do have to eat. I don't
All right.
think I can not eat.
Okay, then
any longer.
after that, I do need to talk to you, though. It's pretty important.
I'm just gonna stay in the call. I'm just gonna
okay.
deafen,
Perfect.
and then I will get back as soon as possible.
Like, let's just do this. How to get viewers to click on your videos. What it says. Oop. So it's going to load. I got the subscription, by the way. So this is, come on. Why are we frozen? I think ChatGPT is out again. Show your vid. So look at how to get viewers to click on your videos. Great question, David. Get viewers to click on is all about mastering the thumbnail title combo and creating urgency about going over the top. Here's a proven strategy breakdown just for you. Create curiosity, not just information. Good, right? 93L is changing fast. Models flip overnight. Good, bold, clear thumbnails. Okay. And you can just look this all up. You know, and so I use ChatGPT for that reasoning, you know. I think it's smart enough. I think it does really well with, you know, how it interprets things. Because I figured out and I learned on ChatGPT is having a click-through rate at least more than 16%, you can master the algorithm. And, you know, and that's how you, because course, you know, if you don't get views, you don't grow, it just won't be successful, you know. And that's why, and notice how very uniform my thumbnails are across all of my videos. So I've established that style. That's David's style right there. And so that's pretty much my style going forward. You know, I'm not going to change it much, you know. As long as it's not like I throw a Cat 5 hurricane in there when there's no Cat 5 hurricane, you know? There, and honestly, I'll agree, my thumbnails are clickbait, but there's a difference between good and bad clickbait, you know? What's up, Corf? How's everything? Lots of lightning, I do agree. There's a lot of lightning.
3 more.
There's definitely a lot of lightning with this system. That means there's a lot of convection. But I do highly recommend you all try it out. Do some homework. Try using ChatGPT to start a YouTube channel. It's very, very helpful. Believe me. Yeah, see, I'm good clickbait. I will tell myself, David, you're clickbaiting. I am aware of I am clickbaiting, but I'm not bad clickbaiting. I have my boundary, okay? Some people just go out of this world, you know, and just will go like Cat 5 hurricane coming or Cat 2 or Cat 1 or something. I admit I did put Dexter in there in a couple of my titles because at the time we were thinking that maybe this has some potential because of past learning experiences, you know? Things fly under the radar, and when they fly under the radar, you know, you have to learn from that and be like, well, this could fly under the radar too. This time it didn't, fortunately. And that's what we're happy for, that this did not end up becoming a tropical storm like what the icon was showing. Because for a little bit there was 10 model runs in a row that the icon consistently showed a tropical storm hitting Louisiana. Thank goodness that's not happening right now.
2 more.
Any updates on this? Right now, it's just going to be a big rainmaker is what we're thinking right now. Big time rainmaker down there in southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama is what we're thinking. There's a moderate risk for heavy rainfall, so flooding is going to be absolutely serious with this. And I know some of you are like, oh, it's not going to be serious. And if we actually look at my channel, I have to laugh at my own thumbnails sometimes, you know? Literally. Like serious impacts. This is not good. Yeah, that's not good. Dealing with 93L impacting someone. This is not good. Again, same thing from this morning. So I'm very, very aware on what I'm doing with my thumbnails. And that's why you've noticed I'm not putting this just got 10 times worse. Big historic storm coming like other people will put, you know. I have my boundaries. But yeah, with what you were saying, yeah, this storm is definitely not looking good. Lots of heavy rainfall is coming to southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and Alabama over the next couple of days. Well, how I look at things is before I watch a video, I just don't look at the thumbnail. I'm actually going to click on the video and see how I liked it. And if I find that video very valuable, I'll come back and watch over and over again. I don't ever think about people's thumbnails, you know. Oh, yeah. We did have 2,000 Cat 7s on stream with that hurricane simulator. Oh, yeah. That was a fun hurricane simulator.
One more.
So, if you guys understand how I run my thumbnail, how I run my channel, a lot of you been here for millions of years. No, I'm just being sarcastic, but you guys have been here for at least a few years, so you kind of expect what you will find on my channel. You guys are loyal, you guys are awesome, and everything like that. I don't hype unless it's needed, okay? Thumbnails just need to be clean of dirt, XD. Yeah, my thumbnails look pretty clean, I would think, right? With the episode number, season number as well. I think these are really good thumbnails. These look absolutely like consistent. I think I've been doing a great job with my artwork. Really good. but I can't resist. I mean, I gotta laugh at some of my thumbnails. You should stay on until 50,000. Yeah, that would have been possible a couple of days ago. Because a couple of days ago, I was getting like almost 1,500 subscribers in a 24-hour period. That's an awesome shot, David. Thanks. I always look at my thumbnails as artwork, not just about making thumbnails for people to click on. I always make them just for artwork. I like reds, I like pinks, I like yellows. Those are my 3 colors that I like. And so I'm going to actually, that's why I have, if you've noticed, quite consistent between all of them. Are my thumbnails made with ChatGPT? Good question. No, they're not. I use Photoshop to do that, but I get I call it an instruction book or an instruction board that tells me, okay, like these are the colors that stick out the most, you know, because I have run A/B tests amongst my thumbnails, and ChatGPT helped me with that and says, looks like these thumbnails stick out more than these thumbnails, you know. And so that's why I've been sticking to red, yellow, pink. Red, yellow, pink. Sometimes green in rare occasions with big, bold text on the top right side of the screen or the thumbnail. That's why you've seen it go boop, 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 boop. Very flat and consistent all the way through. All the way through. This is kind of where I was experimenting a little bit. Then I just kind of clicked on to the beveled, metally look, metallic type layout, and that's what I've been sticking with. So not going to change it. I am not going to change my style. I'm not going to let the people get to me on that one.
You did it! Hooray!
How's max velocity doing? I have not looked. I don't bother looking at other YouTube channels on my stream for many reasons. I like to kind of just be isolated from all that. I haven't seen his thumbnails actually in quite some time. It's been a long time since I last saw his thumbnails. But honestly, I don't want to see his thumbnails because then, you know, it can cause a bit of problems. So I like to kind of just remain. I do watch him though. He's really, really good at what he does. My sister watches him. But the thumbnail part, I'm not. I like to have my own style for everything like that. So, hey, if you guys want to help me make thumbnails, hit me up on Discord. That's what you guys want to do. Help me make my thumbnails even better than ever, than before. Just hit me up on Discord, on my Discord server. I do have a server. I'm not very active in it, but I try to be in there as often as I can. So, yeah, this weather force. Thank you so much, Doug. And I want to be unique with my production as well. That's why I'm trying this new layout where I go live for 24 to 36 hours during big hurricane tropical events. This is not one of them with 93L. That's not going to be happening. I know some of you are disappointed, but like, I mean, the wind, storm surge, flooding, recon aircraft, you know, that's way more exciting to watch, you know, and look at the data and give you guys that in real time. There's no recon data. There is not a lot of wind. There's no storm surge on this system. So it's very blunt. It's a very blunt system. We've hit 163 likes. Thank you guys for liking the stream. I do appreciate it. You guys are absolutely awesome. And I'm speaking this from the heart of my joy right here. I do appreciate it. I really do. Even so I've been through some bumpy times in the past. We're slowly migrating past that. Of course, I go through my ups and downs sometimes, so yeah. But I'm still shocked. I'm still shocked that I even have almost 47,000. I mean, just a week ago, I was at 42,000 subscribers. It's like, wow, holy cow. How did I get this much this fast? And so evidently people love my content so much, and that's what I have to think about that. Evidently someone likes my content because they're subscribing and stuff. So yeah, it is about 6:30 here. David, you should cover volcano eruptions and other geological stuff. Thank you, Lego Train, but that's not my niche. Oh, thank you. Glad you love me so much. Yeah, I'm not a volcanologist, so I'm not volcano type person over here. Okay. If you ask me, how does a volcano erupt? I probably won't know the answer as well as you do. So I'm just not into that. What interests me more is weather, because weather changes from point A to point B in a split of a second. And then I just love fluid dynamics. I just like how, how I look at it, as in you heat the land heats the air above it, and then you get convection, I love the mechanics of fluid dynamics. It's just amazing. It's just, yeah. And what I like most, and you guys kind of like this too. Oops. Go to here. I really like the eddies off of California as well. When we get that southerly flow, that's what, like, man, I love those circulations. And I like sometimes how the marine layer will be very deep. It'll be like 5,000 or 6,000 feet. It's like, man, it's kind of cloudy outside. This is like the marine layer, which means look at all that fog along the coast. Which, by the way, speaking of that, water temperatures off of our coast really quickly before I kind of, slowly head off here. Water temperatures off of California are at their lowest they have ever been in over 20 years. I mean, look at the water temperatures off of our coast, well into the 50s, even some upper 40s, which is why I believe our summer has actually been much cooler than it typically is. We have yet to hit a triple-digit temperature here in the home office where I live. We have not, well, we did back in May, but that was only one day. We have went with a day without triple-digit temperatures. Last year at this time, we were up to like day 30, day 15 or something. We were much hotter this time last year than we are this year. So that is a nice, good relief that, wow, our water temperatures along the coast are playing a big role in all of this. In fact, I could even show you this. On the NOAA Coral Reef Watch, look at that blue on your screen. That is nice, good nutrition or nutrient cold water upwelling. Thanks to northerly flow that has been so persistent. The fog is around that's helping to insulate and keep things cold. So when we get more north winds, this water will get even colder. And that blob right there, right off the California coast, that is 4.5 degrees below the long-term average. Almost 5 degrees Celsius colder than it should be for this time of the year. That is freaking incredible. I've never seen anything like that. Serious upwelling of much cooler than normal sea surface temperatures. And there it is right here off of California. Yeah, that's 5.1 degrees Celsius. Yeah, 5.1 degrees below average all along the California coast. Versus this time last year, it was a lot warmer. Look at this. A huge change from last year to this year. And that's incredible. And that's because when we get these north winds, you know, the flow does this, it actually upwells, okay, off the coast, and all this cooler water just filtrates out here. And that's what really has helped keep things, I believe, from reaching dangerous temperature levels. Although we did have a couple of excessive heat or more like heat advisories, nothing that we had last year. That literally we were almost dying for cooler weather. And next week, actually, it's supposed to be in the low 80s here, like 81 degrees, which is actually 15 to 16 degrees below the long-term average for this time of the year. The average high for late July is about 95 degrees, 96 even. So the fact that we are going to be in the mid to low 80s next week, I am not complaining about that. Even so it's warm, warmer than it is in the wintertime, I'll tell you, I can take that over 110, 115 degree weather that we had last year. No, I'm not in the Bay Area. I'm in the Sacramento Valley. Today, actually, let's see how warm it got in my area. By the way, you guys can check out my weather station data for proof that it did not hit 100 since May. This is my weather station data that you can look up and look at this. 76 degrees, 78 degrees. It's already cooling off. It only got up to about 82 degrees today with the dew point of 60 degrees. So not too bad after starting off with morning lows in the low 50s. So that not too bad to say the least. I'm not complaining about this. This is great weather. So you can view my weather station here, and I dedicated its name Ethan B Station. And I believe it's because of the upwelling, those cold waters off the California coast, really helping to keep that marine layer colder than normal. So once it does get deeper, it actually insulates us. In fact, we go over to the Fort Ord profiler, and that marine layer is at around 2,500 feet right now. So this marine layer is actually quite deep. This gives us an idea that, okay, if there's a lot of red here that is squashed, say like at 1,000 feet, and then you get this cold, these purple and blue colors, that means the marine layer is very shallow. So right now it's relatively deep, helping to transport that cooler air inland from the ocean. And that's how we end our heat waves. When's the next update from NHC? Not until 10 o'clock tonight. Or no, wait, 11 o'clock tonight. And I would imagine they'll keep it at 40% or lower. They might even drop the percentage. Doesn't surprise me if they drop it to 30%. Could you look at 93L to see if it's trying to organize? It's not trying to organize. I'll tell you right now. Let's see. No. It's done. I think it's done. Let's see though. We'll see what this area does back in here. It does not look very promising though. What can Louisiana expect? Lots of rain and some flood concerns. I'm hotter than you, David. That's crazy. Brady 111. I forgot. Where do you live again? Which state and city, if you don't mind me asking? I know you're somewhere in California, if I'm mistaken. Maybe you're in Texas. I always think everyone that's watching is actually watching from the East Coast, but it's actually not the case. Some people are watching from where I live. Oh, you're in Idaho. That's right. Why do I forget? People live. Okay. Oh, so you're way up over here. So what's the weather like in Idaho today? A little bit of smoke, it looks like. But no clouds at all. No clouds. Just a little bit of smoke to your south, and that's about it. But there's the marine layer right there. Yeah, I can't believe our water temperatures are literally just below 50 degrees. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. You make me laugh. Bill Adams saying Texas is hotter than 2 horny rats in a wool sock. I can believe it. I mean, it's terrible. It's just so freaking muggy and hot over there. And get this. Yeah, you don't even want to know and begin to think what the models are sniffing out. At least let's look at the GFS. Let's look at lower 48 weather really quickly before I kind of... In this, let's go to tropical tidbits here. Oh my gosh, Texas. I'm so sorry. Oh man, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's going to be hot for a while. About 100 degrees. It's not super duper hot, but it's definitely up there. 110 in Nebraska? Oh my gosh. 112 degrees there. Jeez Louise on the GFS. You guys are going to be cooking out there. See what dew points look like. In the 70s. Gosh, dew points over here in Iowa in the low 80s. Holy macaroni. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Good thing I don't live over there. It's hot here. That's hot. For your area, let's see in Idaho. Idaho's, oh, well, if you're in the valley, like Boise, it's going to be well over 100. Probably 107. On the GFS, probably even closer to 110. And that is well above average. Because that subtropical ridge, look at that thing. 600 decameter high in across the Intermountain West. But the GFS likes to be biased on this. I don't believe this at all. I don't trust this. I do not put any fame and hope into that. Because the European model has no serious ridge over the west. Mainly across the high plains is where it's going to be hottest. I mean, 105 degrees. Look at this. Ridiculous. Super hot in Pensacola, Florida, and very, very humid. Yeah. Yeah. And San Antonio, 90% humidity. Yeah. Oh my, yeah. That's why I'm glad kind of where I live, we do get high dew points. It's usually during the monsoon season, we'll get dew points like in the upper 60s. I mean, if you do go and look at my weather station data, you can find some very muggy days, but that's likely due to our farmland that has a lot of evaporative, a lot of evapotranspiration that will actually up the dew point. I mean, we had a dew point here this month of 68 degrees. So It's not much lower than in the Midwest. And then 68 degrees in June usually is typically our more humid days. Actually, late May was quite muggy. Then usually April, it's not as humid just because it's in April. And then March, you know, dew point of 65 degrees in March. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. So, yeah, we do get our fair share of humid days here, but it's manageable. What's up, Brittany Parker? I do apologize if it's either me, I'm busy, or you're busy. And so I've been trying to contact you on Discord. We have to chat for a little bit, maybe tonight, when I can. I do apologize though if I missed your message. Because when you chatted with me, it's like I wasn't available, and then I saw your message. I'm like, oh, Brittany was here. Oh my goodness, I missed, and then you're offline. So I tried messaging you. I don't think this system's gonna form. I'm leaning in that direction. However, what did we learn in today's live stream, people? What's not going away? We know the system's not going to develop into a named storm, but what impact is not going to go away? What was the record for Death Valley? It was like 134 or 135 degrees, something like that. The flooding. Good job. You guys were listening. It's the flooding. It's not the wind. It is not the storm surge. It's going to be the inland flooding. Freshwater flooding. Okay. Is going to be the main impact. And that's going to really bombard. It's already impacting Louisiana right now. And it's going to be impacting the rest of Louisiana into the overnight hours and tomorrow, even into Friday. So how bad will the flooding get? Well, let's take a look here at the map. The flooding is not looking good at all for Lafayette, for Lake Charles at all. There's a moderate risk, okay? And it's not just a moderate risk. It's like, oh, it's not a high risk at least, but still, that is a 40% chance for major, potentially life-threatening flooding in this area. So, yes, this is a big deal. A level 3 out of 4 on the flood impact scale, for sure, in the central southern half of Louisiana. Boy, I'm even surprised Baton Rouge is not under a moderate risk for flooding. Because with all those storms that went through today. And I mean, if this does become a named storm, or not a named storm, if this becomes a tropical depression, it does not change the impacts. Okay? It does not change the impacts. It's just a designation. That's all it really is. I mean, this thing could have 30-mile-an-hour winds right now. All it needs is a closed circulation, enough deep persistent convection, then voila, you get a tropical depression. That's all it really is. It's a designation change. All right. It's like there's not much of a difference between a 70-mile-an-hour tropical storm and a 75-mile-an-hour hurricane. Okay, it's just one category higher, but 5 miles an hour really doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't.
Hello?
What's up? I'm back. I ended up flirting on here a little bit longer than I wanted, but I think I'm going to stretch this to 3 hours. That will be our bonus here. So I'll be done here in about 12 minutes because you guys are special.
I am free for the rest of the night. So
sweet, sweet, sweet. When will this tropical disturbance make landfall? Well, I could say it kind of made landfall already. Well, it's on land, semi on land. It's borderlining, so it kind of has-ish made landfall. right now, but it doesn't get into Louisiana until tomorrow evening, throughout the night tomorrow. Actually, it's actually a lot of it's coming in right now. Let me look at the radar reflectivity forecast. It's just going to be kind of the same old thing where these storms do pulsate. So it's semi making impacts right now in Louisiana. Definitely not messing with that water. Yeah. Oh, of course. I didn't want to show you all really quickly on how warm the Gulf actually is very quickly here while we have some extra time. Look at how warm the Northern Gulf actually is. Easy. That is 32 Celsius, a little over 32 degrees Celsius, which is about 89 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. This is very warm. Very, very warm.
That is very, very warm.
And I'll tell you what, and I want to speak on the behalf of the wind shear here. If it weren't for that wind shear, and I am being dead serious about this. If it weren't for that wind shear and dry air, and this thing did literally come much further south and then did a track like this would have been a much, much, much bigger problem than what we're having right now. You can thank the land interaction up here and thank the drier air and deep layer vertical wind shear that's keeping this thing in check. Because I'll tell you what, this could have been a much different story if this thing was far enough offshore and then it kind of did that curve up like that. Yeah, it's only July. I agree. And these waters are only going to get warmer because why are they going to get warmer, you might ask? Well, there's not going to be a whole lot of wind over the Gulf once this thing departs. And when we put that into motion, let's go to our oceanic conditions really quickly here. Oh, come on. Where are you, Gulf? There we go. Here's a look at the wind forecast. So once that departs, what I'm looking for is this. Look at this. There's no wind here. There's no wind in this general vicinity. If there is, it's generally around 5 or so miles an hour. That is very light. That's not going to lead to a lot of upwelling at all. And look what happens. The wind just stays in that same area over and over and over again. And look, it just continues. Look at this. These winds are very light and they are not moving at all. This is just very light throughout the entire forecast. So that could really mean trouble. That means between now and probably the end of July, these waters will more than likely warm more significantly. And the peak of the Gulf waters don't usually arrive until we get into about the middle to the end of August. So we have a whole entire month to month and a half to go before the peak of the heating happens in the Gulf. So we have to consider that. And look at how warm it's going to be. Like in Florida, 95 degrees. So that means there is a potential these waters are going to be a lot warmer, even close to 100 in Florida each day here. That wasn't bad enough. Look at the apparent air temperature along the Gulf Coast, 110 degree apparent air temperature. That's what it feels like. I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. Each and every day, look at 112, 110 degrees along the Georgia coast because that ridge of high pressure that builds in. So I am thinking we're going to have a lot of warming happening here in the Western Atlantic, Southwestern Atlantic, in the Bahamas, as well as the Gulf and the Northwestern Caribbean. I mean, this is not going to get any better. I'm sorry. I hate bringing you the bearer of bad news, but this is going to be quite muggy, quite hot. Hot and humid. Who does not like hot and humid conditions? That includes for Tennessee as well, where my friend lives, because in Tennessee, apparent air temperatures could flirt close to 105, 110 degrees because of that ridge of high
Don't
pressure.
remind me. Don't remind me.
I'm sorry. Let's actually see though, and down the road. Maybe it won't be so bad. Actually, no, it's actually not going to be that bad. Heat indexes in the mid 90s, daytime highs in the mid to upper 80s. It's actually not that bad in far eastern Tennessee. Wow, for Indiana though. Indiana is going to be in trouble. That is for sure.
Let's see. Oh, there's storms near me. Holy crap.
This is serious heat indexes up here though. Now that I'm looking at this, man. Look at the instability. Holy cow. Oh man. That is almost 9,000 joules per kilogram of thunderstorm juice. Wow. That is courageous. That is brutal. That means it's going to be very humid down there. Or up there. Yeah, dew points in the mid 80s. Dew points in the mid 80s. Can you imagine what that feels like? Mid 80 dew points with daytime highs around 90 to 95 degrees and heat indexes up to 115 plus degrees.
If there was like a ridge there, it would be like one of the worst severe weather days probably in history. If there was any type of moisture up there.
Oh, there is moisture.
Well, any type of actual, if there was negatively tilted, whatever.
Oh gosh. Oh, don't yeah. That would be very bad. That would be very bad. But yes, this right here is no joke. Man, poor Indiana. Poor Indiana, poor Iowa. Yikes. See if Iowa's on there.
David, I need you to look at the storms near me. Am I gonna die? I'm kidding.
Dew points in your area will definitely be in the mid to upper 70s though in Tennessee. That is for sure. Just won't be
That's
as
actually a pretty good storm near me.
Oh, right now?
Yeah. It's got some heat to it.
Oh shoot, yeah. Okay. There are storms over there. Oh man, there's cameras out on this too. Cumberland. Don't think there's any lightning. I don't see any lightning. But yeah, there are some storms there. Some daytime heating, air mass-ish storms, boundary-ish storms. What we call easy peasy storms. I'm just kidding.
That's me.
So yeah, even so I don't do US forecasts this time of the year doesn't mean I've ignored it. It's just my main topic on the YouTube channel is really winter weather and hurricanes. But because of my new setup, that might be changing. That means more severe weather live streams. And guess who is behind it all? Easy peasy, which means there's a better chance there will be more live streams on severe weather next year. So I can't wait for that. But before we get to next year, we have to get through a lot of the tropical stuff and winter stuff. Thank you so much, Political Kiddo. I do appreciate it. Glad you like this a lot. So yeah, the Gulf has a big opportunity of recovering from whatever storms are moving over it now that might temporarily shave off some of the heat in the ocean. But that's not going to last for very long. Based on our European model, winds look to be very light, generally under 10 miles an hour through the next couple of weeks. This type of latent heat can fuel storms, violent storms. Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, if we did not have the shear, we did not have the dry air in training this system, and the system were a lot further south, who knows how strong this could have gotten. I mean, this could have been a big problem. This could have been a big, big problem. So you guys got to say thank you to land interaction, shear, and dry air, because this one was a luck. This was a lucky get out kind of thing, because the next one, who knows? Who knows what that could be? Yeah, GFS political kiddo, you're saying this is gonna make a loop around and come back into the Gulf. I'm not worried about that right now, honestly. If it happens, then we'll circle back onto it, but not worried about it now when it circles back like that, because it's only one model showing that. And of course the GFS has to be in all of this.
We'll get a new GFS model here in around, probably it'll start here in an hour and a half or so.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not like, if it's still,
I don't think it's I think it will get wiped away from a front and we won't see a return of it. Personal opinion.
Fact that it's already getting attention there. It's not only getting attention here on YouTube, but it's people on X have started talking about it, like make a return. Like, no, let's not start that right now. I mean, if that happens, that's literally 9 days away, maybe even 10 days away. That is Fantasyland GFS. All righty, folks, we're at 3 hours and 1 minute. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. We are at 46,701. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to skedaddle and get out of here. I've been locked and cooped in this hot, humid room for a while. And I think to compromise, 3 hours is long enough for today. I think it was a great one. No, guys don't want me to leave. Please, no, don't leave. Man.
We have stuff to talk about, David.
Yeah, it's more personal stuff. And that I kind of need to get that out of the way, and also talk a little bit more about the live streaming business for hurricane season, because folks, these meetings are crucial, because if you don't have these meetings, then, these streams won't be organized as well. So we want to make sure to we are ready, Freddy, full gear, ready to go for when things do strike down the road. We will be able to do it very smoothly, honestly, and professionally without any problems at all. All right. But at least I was able to go live. Okay. I mean, I could have made an afternoon update today. So I'm glad I was able to have the time to make a stream out on this disturbance. All right. I love you guys. I care about you all. And I will be back tomorrow afternoon with another video, because tomorrow's Thursday. So I will have another video out tomorrow and Friday, as my usual upload schedule, at 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Have a great night, folks. Be safe. Do not get into any trouble with floodwaters, because water does kill people. So please be safe and please be weather aware. Until next time, I'll be back with you more tomorrow. Woohoo!